Hi there, it is Q&A Wednesday. Wow, I can't even believe Christmas is over. Now we're headed for the new year, and of course we have a great topic this evening. We're going to talk about New Year's resolutions. First of all, I'm going to tell you what I think about New Year's resolutions. Actually, not a fan. I am, but I'm not. My biggest issue with New Year's resolutions is honestly, what has changed January 1st that you couldn't do, say, November 1st or whenever? It's more about creating something that you can work on year round and being successful at it. Now, that being said, I want to talk about how to have a successful New Year's resolution, because I have some ways to set yourself up for success. There's a good portion or a good percentage of people who start every year or who at least have good intentions of starting. But of course, it's a pretty big percentage, a pretty substantial failure rate of those who don't even make it past the first few weeks. And so I want to kind of get you on the right path. It is time to start thinking about that. And you know what? I love having a new start. I kind of think of there being two totally different starts every year. I think of the school year as one, when it starts in August, September, as being part of a new year. The kids are back in a schedule and I can come up with some different things that I want to work on. But definitely New Year's is kind of a time to think back and reflect, and think about what you can change and what you can do differently. However, again, I want you to be successful at it. So some of these are tailored more to health choices or health resolutions that we might come up with. But really they work for any sort of resolution. Some people might set some financial goals. Some people might set, just even some personal improvement, which is kind of where I'm at. I'm pretty happy with where, most of my health is right now. But I do have some big goals and some big dreams. It's kind of fun to be, my age and still think, what am I going to be when I grow up? I love that. So I actually do some people call it a vision board. Some people call it a goal poster. I do one every year. I just take a great big sheet of poster board from just really inexpensive from the store. And I post pictures of things that I want to work on that year. And I put it somewhere where I can see it all the time, because that really helps remind me on a daily basis what it is that I'm working for. If you set those goals and you put them away and you never, go over those again or think about them again, how can you be successful at it if you're not constantly working towards that? So that being said, I do have some specific things that can help you to be successful. This year, I'm kind of calling this the year of health and wealth, partially because that's what most people are looking at, but also because, those are things that are kind of really front and center in my life right now. Working with a great company for supplements, which I'll talk about at another time, but there's some big, amazing things happening, and it goes right along with my coaching, with my health and transformation coaching. So pretty excited about that. Lots going on in my family this year, so I'm pretty excited to just have it all encompassing. I'm really happy with the way life is right now. But that being said, there's always room for improvement, and so let's talk about how you can be successful. First of all, I want you to think about the goals that you set last year and whether or not you were able to accomplish or even improve. It's all about progress. It's not about perfection, especially when we're talking about health. It's never going to be perfect. And when we're talking about success is not perfect. It's not a straight line. It's messy. You can't get to the top. Ask anyone. Ask anyone who you feel is at the top if it was easy to get there. Did they get there without any obstacles? Of course they didn't. They wouldn't be at the top without obstacles. And sometimes they're self-made obstacles, as we, probably all know that happens. But a lot of times there's just some things that we have to overcome. So let's talk about ways that you can make sure that you are successful this year when it comes to your New Year's resolutions, whatever those are. Number one, first of all, I think it's really important as you look to set those resolutions that you are realistic. It's great to have these grand dreams and, I want to be an astronaut. Well, you know what? At 42 and with 5 children, that's probably not on my list of things that are going to be accomplished in my lifetime. So, what is it that's going to be realistic? And especially when it comes to health and wellness, I find a lot of people have these great ideas, but don't really know what that entails to reach them. When I work with clients and they have a long way to go, they think, well, it took me 3 decades to put this weight on, but I should be able to take it off in 3 weeks, right? No. So be realistic about what it is that you're trying to accomplish with your goals. And I love it when people set big goals and then they break them down into bite-sized chunks. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But don't underestimate what it's going to take to reach those goals, because you've got to decide if that's going to fit your lifestyle. Most of us know that, especially when it comes to health goals, it's the physical is the easy part, right? It's the mental and emotional and the obstacles that really kind of get in the way. And sometimes it's ourselves. Don't we just get in our own way all the time. I know that I do it. I'm a perfectionist, so I tend to get my own way all the time. So keep that in mind. Number 2, you got to have a deadline. Don't just say, and you know, it has to be measurable. You can't just say, I want to feel better this year. Okay, that's awesome. What are you going to do to get there? You know, whether it's, and let me put my 2 cents worth in. I don't like weight loss goals. I just don't. And here's why. You might see incredible results in what you're accomplishing. You might drop 4 pant sizes. You might feel good. You might look good. You might have all these compliments everywhere you go, and then you get on the scale and you're devastated. So make sure that you're paying attention to the right ways to measure your goals. Sometimes, well, actually a lot, I have to ask my clients, do you want to weigh less or do you want to be smaller? Because they don't always go together. Muscle weighs more than fat. It just takes less space. So keep that in mind. Now, I know that in general terms, we have to talk a lot about weight loss per se, but again, keep in mind what it really means and what that means to you. And are you going to be okay if you drop pant sizes but not weight? I did, even just recently, for those of you that followed my transformation challenge with my husband and I dropped, and then I started to put some more muscle back on. And so I went back up. And it wasn't because I was actually putting on fat. I actually went lower on body fat percentage. I just was putting some size back on, which was my goal. So that was an okay thing. So keep in mind, you need to have a deadline and you need to break it down into bite-sized chunks so that you know where you're going, okay? Here's my best tip for New Year's resolutions. Make it an effort-based goal and not a results-based goal, okay? So for an example, don't say, I want to lose 20 pounds or I want to drop 5 pant sizes. Say, okay, I kind of know where I want to go. What's it going to take to get there? Well, you know what? I think I need to go to the gym 4 days a week. I need to make sure that I am paying attention to my macros, my macronutrients. I need to cut out sugar. Make that your goal, because if you do the efforts, the results will come. Sometimes when you base that on results, especially again, if those results aren't exactly realistic, if there's another variable that you're not considering, you might be highly disappointed when those results don't come exactly like you planned. And then you just kind of throw your hands up and give up. And that's frustrating because you did see progress. You did see results. They're just not what you thought. So reward yourself and focus more on the efforts versus the results, right? It just makes so much more sense. I'm more excited if I actually make it to the gym my 5 days a week or do that cardio however many days a week or really did a great job to cut out that sugar than, yay, I dropped 10 pounds. Honestly, I did it. Last season, I was getting ready for a show. I dropped 22 pounds in 8 weeks, but guess what? A lot of it was muscle. And then when I was done, I was angry. I was angry that I had dropped muscle. So now I'm trying to put that back on. So again, keep it in a way that makes sense, which is make it effort-based versus results-based. Another good one is, you guys, you gotta know your why. You gotta know why you're doing it. If you're just doing it because, you know, everybody's doing it, that's not a good enough reason, right? That alone is not a good enough reason. But if you have a big enough why, the obstacles won't matter. I mean, think about sometimes when your kids are like, they really want something. Maybe for Christmas, they really wanted whatever the toy is that's exciting, and they're going to pester you. And it doesn't matter how many times you say no, because they're just going to keep coming back and coming back and coming back till they get their way. Their why is big enough, guys. They want whatever that is so badly, they're going to drive you crazy till you say yes. If you don't want whatever it is that much, you're not going to get there, because in the beginning you're going to feel motivated because it's exciting and you know you feel like it, you're motivated, you're part of that plan. At some point you're not going to feel that. You're going to hit some obstacles. You're going to not feel so good. You're going to have a really crazy busy week, and all of a sudden you've got 2 choices. You can give up, which again, if you don't have a big enough why, that's why most people lose their resolutions. Or for me, you know, if it's big enough, it doesn't matter. Case in point, again, getting on stage. I know I'm retired, that's it. But getting on stage, people say, oh, wow, you really want that pizza? Well, just eat the pizza. No, I want to win more than I want that piece of pizza. So it keeps me going. There's days I don't feel like going to the gym. It's flipping cold outside. I don't like the cold. but I go to the gym anyway because I want that goal so badly, because that's for whatever reason. For me, sometimes it's because somebody told me I couldn't and I want to show them. For me, it just depends on what's got me there, but I figure out my why before I plan my goal, because it has to be that big. So keep that in mind. It just must be so big and so important to you that nothing will deter you. You've got to also find a way to be accountable. If you don't have anybody to answer to, and I'm just as bad as everybody else at this, the coach pays a coach. I do, because if I don't have somebody to answer to, it's really easy to go, that's okay. You know what? He's not going to, I can have that ice cream. I can do this. I can do that. I don't need to get up and do cardio. But if I have somebody that I have to check into every week, I don't want to tell them I didn't do it. So I have somebody to be accountable to. If you don't have someone, you can get a buddy. You know, that's what a great lifting partner's for, or a great friend that's not going to let you live it down if you don't do it. That's always a good one. Pay a coach, pay a trainer. You know what? If you invest in yourself, you are more likely to do it. Let me just tell you, I paid someone to help me with my meal plan over the Halloween holiday. I was not going to ruin that. I paid a lot, guys. I was not going to ruin that by eating a bunch of Halloween candy. It was not worth it to me because I'd invested in my own goals, right? Start with the right plan, okay? You can't say, okay, you know what? I want to get stronger and then go out and do a bunch of cardio, because cardio is not going to make you stronger. Make sure that you have the right plan for what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Sometimes I'm dumbfounded at what people tell me. They're like, you know what? I just want to do this. And I'm like, and so what are you doing to do that? Well, I'm doing an hour of cardio every day. And I'm like, okay, well, you told me that you actually wanted to be toned. So cardio is not going to do that for you. Yeah, it might help you burn some fat, but you're not going to have anything to tone too. So again, make sure that your plan and your efforts have to actually make sense. Or here's a great one. I've had people say, you know, I do so great during the week, which, you know, then I reward myself on the weekend with alcohol. You know, I just drink a little bit. Okay, so you're telling me that you've undone everything you did 5 days a week with the 2 on the weekend. And a lot of times they don't take into consideration what they think is a little bit. Yeah, I just had a couple of drinks. Well, how much is that? Well, you know, I shared 2 pitchers with a friend. That's a lot of alcohol. And you know that even though alcohol doesn't make you fat, it prevents you from burning fat, because then your metabolism has to now deal with that. So again, pay attention to that. You know, somebody who has a long ways to go when it comes to becoming lean, they can make some basic changes, you know, cut sugar out of their diet, clean up what they're eating, and they're going to see some results. Those of us that are already kind of there, I can't just clean up my diet. I mean, it comes down to, if I want to get any leaner, I cannot have sugar. I cannot have alcohol. I have to do a certain amount of lifting and a certain amount of cardio to get any further along. So you're going to have to be okay with that balance and figure out if that works for you. But again, make sure that you're starting with the right plan for what your goal is based on. So there are people who succeed at their goals. It's not a huge percentage, but I'm giving you the tools right now, the tips and the tools to have a more successful New Year's resolution. But remember, you guys, it's not about 3 months of working on a resolution and then going right back to all the old habits that you did. It's gonna take you back to where you were before. It doesn't work that way. It's a lifestyle. When it comes to health, it's a lifestyle. When it comes to finances, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you spend, right? So you have to find the balance that works for you. You have to find a way to do it when you don't feel like doing it, when you're not motivated. That's called discipline, right? Unfortunately, when we become adults, that is a necessary term that we have to think about. So you guys, you've got this. You totally got this. If you have questions, and I would like to know, you guys, tell me what your New Year's resolutions are. Hop on here, tell me what your New Year's resolutions are. I would love to hear about your success, because to me, that's what makes me happy. Yeah, I have goals of my own, but it's kind of like being a parent. I'm more excited when you're successful, because that's what I want for you. I love people. I want them to be happy and successful. So that's why I do what I do. So tomorrow night, I have an incredible guest. Wednesdays are Q&A Wednesday. I always try to answer a health or a wellness goal that people have that I've heard, or right now it's kind of about the season. But I also have, oh, and Olivia just popped on. Olivia's going to be my special guest tomorrow, and it's going to be awesome. But she has a question here. So she says, when you are not motivated to go to the gym, after you get out, you will feel great. That is totally true, right? I didn't ever hear somebody said, yeah, that was, I totally regret going to the gym and doing that workout, right? That never happens. Like that said no one ever. Olivia's going to be my guest tomorrow night. I'm super excited. I'm going to post her bio here in a few minutes. We are talking about anxiety, depression, and oh, I'm having a brain moment. Issues with self-image. Thank you. Okay. It's just Wednesday. I'm having one of those days. We're going to talk about self-image. And so, like I said, I'm going to post something about it. It's going to be awesome. She's amazing. She's so open and willing to talk about it. And so I'm super excited to have her on tomorrow night. That will be at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You don't want to miss that. I do post everything. I know that people have lives. So if you need to, you can always come back and watch it. Meanwhile, if you have a question, if there's something specific that you want to talk about, please leave a message below. You can also email me at melissa@fillmorefitness.com. It's where I get my best topics to talk about because they're the things you want to hear. So have an incredible evening. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Kind of glad Christmas is over. Glad my family's here, but ready to move on. So have an incredible evening, you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.